Today I'm working on an Echo PB770T. This is my favorite blower. I use it every single day in my landscaping business. Lately when I've been trying to start it up, it runs with too high of a choke. It kind of seems like it's running a little dirty as well. So we're going to take this thing apart, check the carburetor, see if that needs to be cleaned. There's also a little pin on there that you can turn, open it up or close it, whatever it's going to need. Also, I'm going to put a filter in this. Then I'm going to put a spark plug, and I have a fuel filter as well. And we're just going to clean this thing up and get it ready for the springtime. Most places will have screws and stuff where you're going to need to set it up to be able to take it apart. This air filter doesn't look terrible. A little dirty, but we may be able to keep using this one. We'll see. Wow. Well, look how dirty that freaking carburetor is. Holy goodness. That ain't good. Definitely needs to be cleaned. Definitely a lot better. So while I'm here, I'm just gonna take this whole piece off so I can get to this gas tank a little better. one bolt that's way up in the back. You have to go underneath the gas tank, into the hole, and try to get it to loosen up. There we go. So here comes the fuel filter. See how nasty that is. Yeah, that definitely needs to be changed. But now I want to take this fuel tank off and get that completely cleaned off and just wipe down everything and clean it right up so that I know that nothing is in here is wicked dirty. So to get this fuel tank off, there's 2 bolts here, or yeah, 2 bolts here and 2 bolts here. Just gonna take those right off. If you haven't seen my new video on how to make a homemade paper towel roll, go ahead and check that one out. It's pretty useful. I'm gonna be using it in a minute. So the way I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of gas in there and swish it around and kind of pour it onto the towel a few times. We'll see how. Yeah, even that last time had some stuff in there, so that should be clean enough to run. Now the plan is to just clean up the area where the gas tank sits. Gas tank back in there. Okay, that's gonna go down in there. Nice. Now we're just gonna put these 2 bolts back in here, fasten this thing down. Let's take this spark plug off and check it out compared to the brand new one. And you just need a 13/16 deep socket to take the spark plug off. Oh yeah, so look at this difference. This is the old one. And this is the new one. The fuel filter, the difference on this. Here's the old one, and there's a brand new one. So install the fuel filter, brand new one. And then I'd wait to put this down because you're going to have 2 fuel lines you're going to have to put back into there. The difference between the air filters. This one came white, but you can see all the dirt in between. This one came yellow. That one's definitely fresh, as you can see. So we're just gonna put the fresh one in. Gonna mess around with the carburetor. Gonna mess around with this and this air line as well. This piece here into that spot that goes into the fuel tank, that's going to be your return line. So you're going to want to put it back into that this little black piece here that goes into the fuel tank, into the top of it. Pliers, pull it right in there. We don't really know how much we're going to need at the moment, so you want to keep some readily available. And then this as well, we're going to want to clean this out because it's a little junky. So let's clean that out real quick. I'm just going to use some carb cleaner on it, see if that'll clean it right out. Paper towels. I want to go into that black piece as well, going into the fuel tank. So we're going to have to shimmy that one in there as well. May even want to cut a slant into it to give it that opportunity to be able to go through there. Going into the fuel tank, you can go ahead and just do a final set on that black piece coming out of the fuel tank. Alright, and then now just do a final check on all these tubings, make sure they're all on there. Now we're going to want to put this back plate back onto the machine, now that we've gotten everything finished, figured out, checked to make sure everything's all clean. Inside the fuel tank's clean, spark plugs changed, fuel filters changed, carburetor's cleaned out now, got a new bubble on it. So we're all set now. We can just go ahead and put this thing right back together. And you want to make sure that when you put it on there, you don't cross any of those fuel lines. And there's a heat shield on the back next to the exhaust. I want to make sure that's on the inside of the tank as well. So we got this back on there. Let's go ahead and put it back in place. It is right underneath. And what we're going to do is get this all situated. I believe we're going to want this to come from underneath and not cross that. So the way I had it was coming from here over the top of this. So when you're coming up like this, it's on the inside. But if you want to make it go this way, it's all about lining up the lines so they don't get crossed or hit or anything. Just like that. Okay, and then we have this backing plate that these two bolts come through, but there's also another piece that we have to fit onto here. Goes on this outside, just like that. So it's this piece here, goes on there just like that. And then these two bolts go right through here. Just like that. And then those two bolts, make sure that seal's still there. Maybe want to take that off and clean it up a bit. Then you're going to want to put carburetor through there. Bubbles going right through this piece. So you want to run those lines through the bubble. Make sure you remember that the bottom one goes to the long piece on the back of the bubble, and the short one goes to the small part of the bubble. Okay. There's actually also this throttle cable that you want to put in there. You gotta make sure that throttle cable stays on there, because then you won't have a throttle. There we go. A few more bolts that we gotta put into place, such as this top one up here. So now we have this new air filter, and all you gotta do to put this on is like this. The air filter's right in there. All right, let's go ahead and put some of the gas into this and see if it starts up. Just enough for that fuel filter to be able to suck some up. That bubbles take any. Yep, it's taking some. All right, let's go test this outside.